anyone say some nefarious shit, I have a fish.
I don't want to smell like the ocean, thank you.
Is that what we're calling it? I thought you just called that a Tuesday night.
That's why they call me Big Tuna.
Okay.
No!
What happened to the
Alright, so this brings us to... We're on episode 4 now? 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell
Of
yeah,
Virtually Reddit. And so we got me, we got Squishy, we dragged our buddy Shadow today, and we got Odyssey back at it again because last time was just too great. We had to do it again.
Was good.
And I don't know how to explain today's stories. There's really not a theme. It was just we searched and we found, and listen, man, I've got some good ones, I think. Let's see.
I think I got
Squishy,
two
do you
good
want to start us
ones.
off?
Sure. Why the fuck not? Okay, pick a number between 1 and 2. Pick
Yes.
1 or 2.
3?
2.
All right. So this
Yo,
one
Tail.
is.
Oh,
Aw.
my Talon, sorry. I have to come over here and click this on my computer. I will be back in but a moment.
Okay, so we have: Am I the asshole for calling my dad a pedophile? Hi, babe. So
Yo, could we censor that first word? Or that last
Yeah.
word?
yeah.
Could we say something that's not that one, but something that everyone
Yeah.
understands?
PDF.
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 PDF, yeah, a PDF file.
That
Or a
works.
P word.
That's a great word. I like
So-
that word.
Am I the asshole for calling my dad a PDF file? So me, 15, my dad's 38, just dropped a huge bomb. He said he's dating the daughter, 16, of his friend, 38 female, a friend he used to date too. She isn't very happy about it, and neither are their mutual friends. He vented to me about it, saying that they are being unfair to him. I just said, "What did you expect, Jacob Black?" Mom made both of us watch the movies with her back when we were together, when they were together. So he got the reference. As he went on about how he did nothing wrong, he told me he is going to give them a piece of his mind. I told him most people wouldn't listen to a PDF file.
Oh god.
That was when he snapped. He quickly got in my face and said that it's PDF file. It's only I don't know how to say that because it's the technical term for it.
Oh no.
What?
Oh.
Do you have to censor?
I'll just say PDF. I'll just say it's only a PDF if the girl is prepubescent, but this girl's already 16, and that I shouldn't slander him. That she's over the age of consent where we live, and that he hasn't done anything wrong, and that is it. That is the entire.
So the
that is
dad's
entire
dating
thing.
a 16-year-old?
Yes.
And the dad's in his
a person
30s?
He used to date. Of a person he used to date. And no one is at all okay with it.
Not
He's
not the
quite
asshole.
literally pulling the. He's quite literally pulling the "I'm not getting arrested for it, so it's okay" type of argument
Dude,
for
that's
that.
the equivalent of when you're sitting in the back seat with like your sibling and they got the finger right next to you and they're like, "I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Exactly.
I'm not touching
Exactly.
you."
Exactly.
And also,
Yo, as a
if you have to,
man, you shouldn't be doing that.
If you have to go on a law,
No.
like if you have to sit back and be like, actually, the age of consent in this state, that red flag. I need a red flag guy here. If you have to depend on that, red flag, jail.
Jail.
Yeah, that's not okay.
100%.
Behind
No.
bars so fast.
Behind No, he needs to be put into the loony bin. A
Well,
white padded room.
You know, he's probably the type of guy to say that you're mature for your age, and that's why it's okay.
Yikes. Please no.
Why do I get the fish? It's valid.
Yo, I got 4 minutes. It took you 4 minutes to bust the fish out.
Dear Lord.
That might be record time.
I don't have any words for that other than, like, report your dad to the cops.
No.
Let the police handle it.
One of the comments underneath was ... You should go live with your mom.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, you should.
You should.
Get the fuck out of there. Like,
Go live with your mother if your dad is doing that kind of shit. Let him go get arrested on his own.
Oh my lord. Alright, so we're jumping into the deep end with these then. So I got you. This is not an Am I the Asshole post. It's more just an opinion piece. This comes from True Off My Chest. And it is called My Husband Got a Husband Stitch Behind My Back, and a year later I can't get over it. For those of you who don't know what a husband stitch, it's an extra stitch done on the girly bits after birth to make it tighter for the husband. That's what that is.
Oh, this is the first time I have ever heard of that. And what?
So when like a
they
bit more
stitch it
depth onto
closed
this,
more.
when someone gives birth, obviously damage is done to different parts of the body. Granted, it will recover, okay? It's a muscle, it'll go back to normal, no problems. But there are doctors who will go to the husband and ask, do you want a husband stitch? Which is just one extra stitch put on those bits to make it tighter for the husband's pleasure, not for the wife by any means, just for the man. And it's oftentimes done in a way where the wife is never aware. And it can cause a lot of problems and pain.
Yep.
I would like to add this. Sometimes when giving birth, women tend to either, depending on how big the baby is, sometimes they won't even ask if it's necessary. Like if she rips too much, they'll do it anyway. They'll do it anyways.
Yeah, so it's a controversial procedure done because doctors don't actually end up, most of the time they're not asking the wife of any means if they want this done to their body. They either do it on their own or they ask the husband.
All right, so first and foremost, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank all of the women in the world for being women, because as a guy, we don't have to deal with that. That's never been a problem for me. That's never going to be something I ever really have to think about, at least for my body. So, first and foremost, thank you, ladies. We appreciate it. We do.
Women power!
So, I gotta know, would you two get that if you were in that situation?
No.
Good question. Hold that thought, baby.
Oh.
When we have kids and I give birth, would you be okay if they gave me a husband stitch? Like, so a doctor would go up to you and ask if you want the husband stitch, aka to make that certain area tighter for your own pleasure and not mine. Well, they'll ask you. They won't ask me. They'll ask you, and I won't have a say in it.
That's so wrong.
That's up to you. He said he doesn't care.
Rosie would see Jesus.
So.
Wait, how
said
is that not part of the lady's decision?
He said it was my choice whether or not he agreed to it or not. So
It
he
should
would
be the
probably,
lady's
and
choice.
he probably would end up telling me whether or not they asked him that.
And see, it also comes down to communication.
And
A lot of
then-
these husbands who give the okay don't ask the wife. And that's where the
No.
biggest issue is.
A lot of them don't even know what it is.
So they'll say yeah anyways.
Yeah. So that's the context of
It
it.
costs more money, so if you want like
God.
an extra $1,000 added onto your $30,000 hospital bill for having a kid,
Yep.
that's on you.
Yeah, that one stitch is probably $1,000. You're right.
if I were to Google it, I know there's a lot of problems with it. But so that's what that is. And it is I, 25 female, gave birth a year ago, and my husband, 34 male, who was a surgeon at the hospital I delivered at, was asked by his colleague, the OBGYN, if he wanted an extra stitch. My husband said yes because he thought it would make intimate life better for the both of them. I didn't notice as I was out of it, but I was in a lot of pain afterwards. Since it was my first kid, I wasn't sure if it was normal or not. I kept asking the nurses, who told me it might be because of the husband stitch. I asked her what that was, and she explained it to me. At first, I thought the doctor had just done it and I wanted to report him. But then my husband said he agreed to it. I felt violated. This wasn't the first time a man had violated my body. I won't say this next sentence, but the poster is a victim. But this was the first time it was done by somebody she had loved. When I told him this, my husband was extremely angry. He said he did it for both of us. He didn't think it was a big deal, but he didn't know it would cause issues. I pointed out that he was a neurosurgeon, and he said he wasn't an OBGYN. The fight got ugly. I screamed at him to get out, and in the end, I had to be sedated. Oh, so she was in the hospital when they had this argument? I had the same reaction every time he tried to see me. So for the whole time I was at the hospital, 3 weeks, because of a slow recovery, I didn't see him. Now my son has turned a year old, and things between us are non-existent. I only talk to him about our son. We sleep in different rooms. I don't let him so much as kiss me. He is extremely remorseful, especially as he saw how it affected my recovery. He genuinely thought it was okay as the colleague presented it, as it will make intimate times better. But why would that area being tighter feel better for women? It only feels good for men. He has asked for couples therapy. I have refused. I have taken up freelancing so I am making money on my own. My husband thinks I'm doing this as a plan to leave him. I was initially dependent on him. He is partially right. I don't see myself getting over this. I have no contact with my family, and I live in his country. I have no friends but his friends. I have no family but his. Everyone is on me to make things right. They say he was wrong, but I can't hold one mistake over his head. My country isn't exactly known for women's rights. Femicide is more common here than you might think. But I am also on a spouse visa. I can't leave him until my son is at least old enough to remember me, because if I leave, there's a 90% chance I would lose custody. What should I do in the meantime to make our relationship bearable?
Communicate? I mean, at least try to talk things out, I guess. Like, I understand where she's coming from and stuff. But, like, at the same time, if you guys don't communicate, it's never gonna get better. And you're gonna be stuck like this in your entire life, and you're gonna be miserable.
Also,
so
you know what?
personally, communication is probably the biggest thing.
So if this husband is genuinely just a little dum-dum of a surgeon and doesn't know what this stitch does, I want to know if, I'm going to look it up real quick, is this stitch reversible?
Also, let's also point out how this started with, like, the husband stitch and ended with, like, my country isn't supportive of women. I don't have any friends here. All of my friends are his friends. Like,
this was a
girl sounds like she's
call
got
for help.
more problems than a husband stitch at this point. Like, that is the least of her worries going on right now.
I think she pointed it out more so just, like, to explain why she was mad and how her situation is.
She doesn't have that support system.
No,
Yeah.
she doesn't have the support system, and, like, from where she is from, which wasn't disclosed, they don't particularly let women do what they want as much as, like, say, we do.
Oh.
And that's probably hindering what she's doing. What?
It can't be
What did you just
reversed.
find out?
So since the husband stitch, this is just from Google. Since the husband stitch is not a medically accepted practice, there is no research into how or if it can even be removed, and that you need to talk to a healthcare provider if you're just experiencing pain, and that's about it.
Well, I would assume it wouldn't be reversible due to the fact that the muscles down there, yes, they take a long time to heal, but at the same time, once you put a stitch in and it heals and it scars over, there's no way of fucking doing that unless you slice it back open again and you stitch it again.
Yeah.
That, sounds awful. And what I can't believe is how the ladies don't have a choice in the matter. How are you not talking to a lady about stitching up a snitch? Like, what? That's not part of the deal.
I will use that term for the rest of my life. I want that on a sweater. Oh my god.
Hey, I'm just trying to spit facts back here.
So yeah, in terms of this, if he genuinely didn't know, because granted, if he's a neurosurgeon, he's not an OBGYN, so, you know, guess he didn't know, and if his buddy's an OBGYN, I can understand why he would trust a colleague, but there should have been more of, you should have waited for your wife to been asked. She should have been talked to, and then I think divorce and couples therapy.
But she's freelancing and she
should have
doesn't
explained it better.
Yeah, and I mean, she's freelancing and she doesn't have the support. She only has like his family, his friends, all that kind of stuff. So, in the sense that if she does divorce, she's not gonna have that support system to help her in any certain way. She's gonna have to figure it out for herself, and with a newborn, that's gonna be difficult.
God, I can't imagine.
I'll say from how OP's writing this, the reason that she mentioned how her home country is and how everything is, she doesn't have a safe out, especially if she wants to have contact with her baby. She doesn't have a safe out, and so if by any means she wants to continue being married to this man, they need severe couples therapy, marriage counseling, like the full 9, and she might even need some personal counseling on her own to handle those emotions and that trauma. But I'll be honest, with what that stitch does and the effects that it does for the rest of your life, if you really feel like you can't have that trust repaired, you need to start making safety systems up. And that would become a tough it out in a sense of fake it to make it. Now, I'm not saying you have to be intimate with the husband anymore, but I'm saying, like, being cordial enough that a divorce doesn't initiate until you can have the dependency of a money, make a separate bank account, make an escape plan, basically. Because if you feel this violated and you don't trust them anymore, but you're also in a country or a place where you can't just easily dip ski, you got to make a backup plan, and you got to have a backup plan within a backup plan. And it's stressful and it sucks, but that might be like her only way out.
Yeah, to me, it sounds like this is like a Eastern Europe, maybe Middle East type of country where she just doesn't have those rights and those freedoms, and that's an absolute travesty. In America, I feel like it would be a very different story. I do.
Mm-hmm. If you could find anybody that could, like, reverse it within a certain time frame of shit and everything else, too.
And I'm reading the comments. Yes, the husband stitch is illegal, but it is still done. So she could also lawyer up, and
So
you
it's
can
direct
actually take the
malpractice.
OBGYN.
Yeah.
That's an easy money grab. There you go. Sue him, get the
That is an
bag,
easy
and
money
then
grab.
dip.
Yo, but then you gotta be raising this kid. Kid's probably going back between both parents. It's gonna be a hard life from there. I think that's like a worst case scenario, you know?
Plus the custody battle for the kid she's got to worry about as well. And if they already don't treat women very well in her country in the first place, she probably
She's
has
not
no
gonna get
say.
back in.
Yeah. That is
Well, speaking of tighter areas, that kind of goes into a little bit of my next one.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Oh god. Oh god. What a segue.
We're gonna go back to Am I the Asshole? And mine is, am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that my ex-wife was tighter?
Oh my god.
Without
So,
even
this
hearing it,
says-
yes.
Yes.
So, this goes like this, alright? I, 39 male, hate it when people make fun of others. I mean, I know that people can gossip and talk amongst friends about other people, and I'm guilty of that too. But I got very upset when my girlfriend, 32 female, started talking about my ex-wife, 42 female. I understand that disliking an ex isn't abnormal or anything, but my girlfriend is obsessed with my ex-wife and always trying to make bad remarks about her. When it is just to me, I don't care because, again, people gossip and talk shit about others in the privacy of their own homes. But this time, it was at a restaurant with some of her girlfriends and spouses. Somehow, the discussion became about my ex-wife's vagina. It's a technical term. It's a scientific term. TikTok, don't ban him.
That's fair.
Yes, don't ask me how, but they were discussing childbirth and body changes, age, etc., and my ex got dragged. My girlfriend was a bit drunk, and she was talking loudly. I hated it, and I asked her to stop talking. When I get upset, she doubles down because she starts thinking, why do you care? Why don't you want me to talk shit about your ex? She has told me this before. Now, she was talking about how my ex-wife must have a huge one. We have 2 children together, 4 female and 2 male. The girls started laughing and saying, ew. I yelled to stop. They just ignored me. The girlfriend told me, why are you so agitated? Did we hit a nerve? I said, actually, no. My ex-wife was the tightest woman I've ever had. I don't know how she managed it, but she's very tight. They became silent, and my girlfriend started crying. Then the woman started yelling at me, and their spouses were between amused and scared. Then one of the spouses said, yeah, I don't think childbirth really affects this. I haven't noticed difference with women I've dated. I felt gratitude, but was still being yelled at. And my girlfriend was not called or answered me since Saturday. I'm so tired.
Oof,
I take it back. I take it. I'm sorry, but honestly, lack of better terms, and I apologize in advance. She was being kind of a bitch about it, about the whole thing.
I feel like this is an everybody sucks
So-
situation.
Let me read these 4 comments real quick for you guys. This first person said, this whole situation sucks. If you're co-parenting with your ex, your girlfriend should know that part of dating you means having a cordial or at least neutral relationship with her, at least in front of you. She way crossed the line. This is not somebody you can have around your kids. She's ghosting you. Cool, saves you the troubles. Next comment attached to it says, honestly, there's no circumstance in which body shaming another woman, let alone the mother of your children, is an acceptable action. She sounds like an absolute bitch. I wish nothing but the worst for her. Third comment says 100%. You don't have to like her, but you can't actively bash on her, especially in public, for no good reason. What a childish, insecure woman to start ragging on the intimate parts of OP's ex for literally no other reason other than to be petty. Then the girlfriend's making ew noises. What is this, a Jimmy Fallon skit? They all need to grow up. Honestly, when I read the title, I was like, no way could you not be the asshole. But then I read the post, not the asshole by a super long shot. I dropped the girl like a bag of bricks. She's disrespectful, immature, jealous, and mean. You don't need someone like that in your life. Fourth comment says, I don't even know why you want to talk about your ex's vagina, but how disrespectful to all women who have given birth, which includes her own mother. The girlfriend's a dummy.
Yup.
Like,
Yo, I think the jury has spoken.
It's an everyone sucks, but honestly, she walked herself into that situation, and she was being childish about the whole situation she was in.
I'm saying I do think ultimately I think everybody sucks, but for the prime reason, now is the current girlfriend an ass? Absolutely, because you pushed and pushed and pushed.
Yeah.
You pushed a boundary that your partner has stated they're not comfortable with, especially if co-parenting is
Exactly.
involved, because then it begs the question of, what are you saying when those kids are around about their mother? If you don't like this woman so much, you can't co-parent like that because it creates so much hostility. And listen, little kids are walking recorders, okay? They will take that and they will mimic it right back, and it makes things awful. And kids are also kids, and they'll warp it in their own way that they remember.
Impressionable.
Exactly. And then I also think, though, I do think the husband has some things to work on. Now, I understand not talking down on other people. I understand that's an upsetting topic. And again, that was a boundary being crossed. So that was that. But just as a woman's standpoint, and kind of playing devil's advocate here, even if it's co-parenting, she's an ex for a reason. Why do you care so much if your current partner does not like that ex? That's the only reason I think
it was
everybody
more
sucks.
So just like he didn't care that she didn't like her. It was just more the fact that like she started talking shit about her in public, and that's the mother of his kids. And to bring up how like loose she is, or apparently according to girl logic is, that's not.
Yo, if they don't break
Gone
up,
that far.
tell the homegirl that she needs to learn Kegels, and that'll fix the problem. If for a miracle they stay together.
Kegel
Yeah.
save lives.
She does not seem like the type of person you'd want to be building a future with. Just saying.
Right?
Just saying.
Because then you're gonna have mini-me's who do that. If she's like that, you're gonna have children who do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, the kids that he's already got could be starting to do that, depending on how she's been acting around them. Whenever, say, he's at work, the kids are staying with him for the weekend, and she's home. And
Yeah, that's not a healthy
everything.
environment for those
Like,
kids to grow up on if they want to understand that. Because a divorce with young children is already not easy, and that already messes up kids for literally the rest of their lives. And so you have to be as cordial as you can so those kids understand that as they grow up, yes, the parents are separated, but they're still loved. If you have a hostile person in that, it's good. If you want your kids to talk to you, dump her.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
thankfully, like the kids are 4 and 2, which kind of makes it a little easier, especially for the 2-year-old. Which we don't know how long they've been divorced. They could have been divorced for like a year or something. Which means neither of them would be relatively coherent enough to remember. All they're gonna ask when they're getting a little bit older is, why don't mommy and daddy stay in the same house?
That's fair. My only thing is like at age 4, I'm assuming you can say some words, you can recite some things. If the girlfriend's around a 4-year-old and says something backwards, that 4-year-old's gonna take it home to their mom, and they're gonna say it, and it's gonna be, where did you learn that from? Dad's house, and now you have another problem.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yep.
Nah. Break up with her. Break up with her.
Yeah, I think this one's
Yeah.
pretty cut and dry. I think we see exactly where this one is. We agree with the comments.
Alright, so I'm gonna stay within family boundaries this time. Her and this
Yes,
fish.
please. I gotta notice. I gotta notice.
Oh god. Well, there is a content
My
warning
bad.
of
Yep.
violence. We're back to true off my chest, and it's just simply, I beat up my brother and I'm not sorry. Hi, longtime lurker, created this throwaway for obvious reasons. I, 47 male, am a widower. Wife passed away 4 years ago to a prolonged illness I won't get into except to say it destroyed me. My 2 kids, male 22, female 20, took it as hard and see therapists at least twice a month. I have never gone to therapy because my parents' mindset, you have to stay strong and don't show your pain. I realize this is unhealthy, and I've taken up hobbies and activities to help me deal with the crushing loss of my wife. I have always tried to be a rock for my kids, and most of the time it worked except when it didn't. I have a younger brother who I'll call Sam, fake name. He's 39. Classic golden child, because I was the mistake that resulted in my folks' shotgun wedding while Sam was planned. I had to work for everything while everything was handed to him. I never resented him for this because this dynamic was my parents' making. I moved away at 20. A few years later, I met my wife. We started our family. Then she passed. Never found anyone to connect to. Sure, I've had an occasional hookup, but nothing too romantic or serious. Now to the story. Sam came over last night, interrupting my own game of D&D. For those who don't know, Dungeons & Dragons nerd game, I
Red
can't
flag.
delve, but
Red
fun.
Flag.
Oh
Red
my gosh.
flag. You can't disturb. You can't disturb the D&D.
Yes.
That's also
Red
true.
You
flag.
gotta let that roll. You gotta let that roll.
Which I didn't mind. What I did mind was him getting into my liquor cabinet and starting in on a bottle of Jack Daniel's Sinatra. My wife found a bottle for me because she knew I loved a good whiskey. He drank nearly a third before I found out and berated him for it, telling him to put it back. He said, wife had good taste. You're lucky I never tasted her when I had the chance. Everyone went silent in shock. I felt myself go numb. Next thing I knew, he was on the floor as I was mercilessly beating him. My friends had to drag me off of him. Sam looked like he had tried to French kiss a runaway train. Gore was everywhere, broken nose, lost a front tooth. For the first time in my life, Sam looked scared of me. One of my friends took him to the emergency room. The night was over. Thing is, later on, the kids came over, they always do on weekends, for dinner and a movie, and found me in the basement, bawling my eyes out. I told them that I was having a moment of grief over mom being gone, but I don't think they believed me. We held each other for a while, then we watched Princess Bride. I accept what I did was wrong, but I don't care. I'll take whatever punishment comes if Sam presses charges. I just don't care. I know my parents will be twisted up about this, and so will Sam's wife, but I don't care. The only thing I care about is my kids, and they are moving on with their lives. I get that I'm an asshole. I just wanted to vent. Feel free to roast me until I'm well done. Thank you.
Completely fucking deserved what he did to his brother.
Bro, picking fights and choosing violence. That's exactly what I just heard.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. And also, he doesn't have to
Yeah,
worry about Sam
yep.
pressing charges because ultimately, you were in your house. He came over uninvited,
Yep.
which, while it's your brother, guess what? That's intruding on someone else's property. And then you went into his stuff and started drinking his stuff, which I believe is some offhanded term of robbery. So he can't press charges.
No,
Yikes.
no. Especially if Sam had already asked him to leave, then he was trespassing as well.
I'm
I
going to
wanna
commit
commit
various war
heinous-
crimes.
I want to commit a violence war crime. I want to commit a felony.
Jesus.
Bro, that is a rough story all the way around. I can understand the reaction, but bro, there are levels to this game. He could have probably just like thrown him out of the house, right? But having him French kiss like a runaway train, like that's ooh, bro. I don't know if it warranted that reaction.
Oh, that was warranted. that was warranted.
Oh, I just looked through the comments and we actually have an update. I didn't know about this.
Oh,
Read it.
oh, let's hear it.
So the mods took down the update, so I'm going to paste it here since I don't know jack about Reddit etiquette. Strange days indeed. Let me put it out there for everybody. My brother is usually a nice guy, if a bit entitled. I don't hate him, just angry at what he said. We usually get along. That being said, I'm going to go low contact for a while until I get my head sorted. With a little clarification on timeline here, Sunday D&D at my place until 6 p.m. Then the kids come over and we do our family thing. Sam came over about 4:30 to visit, and I think he was irked I didn't end the game immediately to pay attention to him. Fists flew around 5:15, and Sam went to the hospital shortly thereafter. It was my wonderful friend and DM who drove him to the emergency room. Monday night, yesterday, I get home and was considering DoorDash when the kids came over. I am immediately wrapped in their arms as they started hugging me and hugging the stuffing out of me. My bad. Daughter says, "We know, Dad, it's okay," over and over again. She hasn't, okay, I can actually say this is not censored. "We know, Daddy, it's okay." She hasn't called me Daddy since her mom passed, so this hit me hard. Next thing I know, we're crying on the floor, hugging each other as I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm talking serious Steel Magnolias, full-on crying. I could barely breathe. It was Dean. He contacted my kids. So Dean is the DM, the one who drove the brother to the hospital. He contacted the kids and told them what happened. Then he made Sam call his wife, 35 female, let's call her Ruby, to explain why he looks like ground beef. Apparently, the kids and Ruby go to the hospital, and daughter and Ruby absolutely railed on Sam until security told them to leave. My daughter, in her infinite wisdom, told my son to give me some time to decompress. Then they decided a plan of action, which was a hug bomb. Man, it felt good. That is until my folks came over half an hour later. Seems that Ruby called them to give them the scoop and tell them that Sam was going to be no contact until they get some MC. I don't know. Oh, marriage counseling.
Yes, I can see why that would be requested.
Apparently, she was so angry as to be nearly incoherent. I'm still on the floor on the couch when Dad starts to lay into me. Now, my daughter is 105 pounds soaking wet and is a spitfire, takes after her mom. She jumps up and tells my dad to back the F off. Of course, he doesn't like this, so while Mom is all weepy, he tries to physically intimidate her. This is where my son comes in. You see, he's my height, upper middle short, but he is a trainer in the gym and teaches yoga. My dad is a big man, but he's out of shape. For my son, it's his full-time job. He faces my dad and says, no, very quietly. Dad actually backed up. I've never seen him back down before. I think it was because my son was practically glowing with anger. He's always been fiercely protective of his little sister. Then daughter cuts in with a rant saying that they will both go no contact with my folks if they don't back off. She meant every single word. Folks couldn't leave fast enough. As for me, I knew what I had to do. I got the JD Sinatra from the liquor cabinet and split it between the three of us. Told them their mom would be proud as punch of them and that would want us to drink this as a toast to our family and to her. We finished the bottle. On note, Ruby loves my brother dearly and has made him better than he used to be, but doesn't put up with his BS. I like her. She's better than what he deserves by far. Talk about punching above your weight. This morning the kids left. She sent me a wall of text, Spitfire Sam, and told me he's going to make a sincere apology soon if he wants to stay married. I have decided to go low contact with my mom and dad for a bit and promised my kids I will seek therapy. Took the day off. I'm the boss of the company, so, cool. To start the search. Kids left after staying in their old rooms for the night, and I insisted since they were drinking. Right now I'm emotionally exhausted. I will choose a therapist, then binge season 6 of Supernatural. As for the kids, they're coming over tonight, and then we're going to watch the Carl Urban version of Dread. Despite everything, I'm a lucky man. To all of you, thanks for the words of support. To the people who think this is fake, that's cool. I wish it was, then my hands wouldn't be hurt so much. I need to get my head on straight and deal with my trauma in a healthy manner. I think this will be my last post. I'm done venting. Need to work on me. As for the DM, I'm going to buy him a bottle of Royal Salute. He's a good egg. Thank you all so much, kind internet strangers.
Wow, that is a lot.
That is what you call an actual fucking family right there.
Justice for Gotham! Justice!
That's definitely a way to go about it.
I wasn't prepared for the wife to say, no, you messed up so bad, I'll divorce you. Good on her!
Good for her.
Because that's sister-in-law. That's
What
not
a
even
woman.
blood related, and she's sitting here like, you messed up. I'm on your brother's side and I ain't even related to him. So figure your shit out.
Oh, we love to see it. We love to see it. I also love that the brother, the son, kept his anger in check when they went to the hospital to check on him.
Yes.
That he stayed out. Because if he is this Spitfire, as the dad is saying, that probably would have ended badly than it already was. So good on him for waiting in the hallway while the sister and wife.
Hospital.
Two trains.
Yeah.
He would have kissed 2 trains that night if the sun was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let's go for the DM.
Story.
What a way to be in the midst of a
let's go.
campaign. Do you think he rolled a natural 20 for those
Yeah.
hits?
Dude, I'm sure he did every single time.
Yeah, 100%.
I hope so.
The other one was rolling for initiative.
National.
He was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Now watch the DM incorporate that into the fucking campaign story somehow.
Oh, God. That's the big bad.
Nat 20s.
Yeah.
Nat 20s for every hit he did with crit damage.
Yo.
He is that guy. OP is that guy. He is the main character, and I'm
Yup.
proud of him.
Yup. Yup.
Oh my lord. All right, so with that note, I'm gonna Dieter us. We're gonna keep staying on True Off My Chest, but I'm gonna do one final story, and it's just, this will be I don't want to say wholesome, but it's a lot more lax than anything we've read tonight, and I think it's just needed.
Well, please and thank you. Also, let's watch our language. I'm gonna go restart my stream. Yo, that's why we do this, though.
That's fair. We do it to do it, man. So this final post comes from True Off My Chest, and it's simply titled, "I called a child ugly." I picked up my 4-year-old from kindergarten, and 2 of the girls that usually pick on my daughter, both 5, came to the door talking to me while I waited for my daughter to organize her place and then come out. They were just talking and saying random stuff. I was kind of entertained, but it was a bit distracted. One of them showed me her doll that she brought because it was Bring Your Toy to Kindergarten Day. And while she showed it to me, the other one told me I was ugly. And without hesitation, I looked at her sweetly and said she was ugly too, only for her to start crying and me realizing what I just said. I am also a clinical psychologist, and I specialize in kids and youth. I was just on autopilot, but honestly, I don't even feel that bad about it.
What? What? You're ugly too, honey. Thank you.
Don't worry. You're the ugly duckling.
I can kind of get that though, because if I'm on autopilot mode and I'm in the midst of doing something, like if I'm honed in or I'm distracted and someone were to say something, I'm gonna retort with you too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to a child, though? To a child?
I'd do it to a kid.
Yeah. You would drop kick a child for a Dr. Pepper.
Wouldn't you?
No, I don't like
yeah,
Dr.
that's
Pepper.
what-
For a Mountain Dew, maybe.
Oh my goodness, that makes it better.
Code Red specifically.
Let's be honest. Let's
Yo,
be
that's the best
honest.
of best
Disappoint me,
flavor.
Palm.
Let's be honest. When we all see those videos of children falling, we all giggle a little bit.
That is true. That is true.
I love the bonus moment that she's a clinical psychiatrist.
With the flubber still on them.
Yeah. She's like, I know how to handle people, and I handle this in the worst way possible.
Therefore, if we giggle when we see a kid fall, we're all going to hell.
Hopefully the kid was humbled though.
I'm
If that's
going for a lot
her
more
daughter's
reasons
bully,
than
Yeah.
that kid got humbled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You check that kid. You gotta
Oh, yeah.
check that kid sometimes.
Maybe don't call no one go on the street and call children ugly. I feel like we should state that fact. Don't do that.
Yes.
Don't get punched by a parent.
Yeah, don't.
Only,
Leave that on Twitter.
only
Leave
if
that on
they
Twitter.
call you ugly first.
Again, I'm gonna tell you something my parents taught me, right? You don't start it, you finish it. So if someone comes up
Hey.
to you and starts calling you just stupid names or slurs or anything like that, you have a right to grab them by the hair and drag them down to the floor. That's
Okay,
just what
got
I'm
it. So the
saying.
next time a newborn screams at me, I will scream back.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
If they start
Into
crying,
a
I'll
double
cry
leg
too.
takedown, get on mount, and
Show
ground
them
and
that
pound.
you understand. You're
Yeah.
on the same wavelength as them.
We're going WWE, all right? They're crawling, I'm walking.
give him the freight train. Give him the freight train.
And just pull from the top rope. Just an anniversary of kids.
This is why I can't have kids. No, because I also, on a real note though, you know how many of my little cousins, because little cousins, little children in general, crotch goblins, they're rude. They are so rude. I woke up one morning babysitting my
They
little
have no
cousins because she wanted to
filter.
have a sleepover, so we stayed up super late. We did face masks. I put on Bluey. She painted my nails. Like, I love this
Aw.
girl, dude. I was like, anything you want to do, like, you're my niece. Let's do it, right? I woke up. She woke me up. She wanted breakfast. She wanted pancakes. My hair's all kinds of messy. I am half awake. Dude, I sound like a man in the morning. And she was like, Sissy, you're ugly. And I was like, oh, you're going back to your dad. I'm going to hit you. You're going back to your dad.
Oh my gosh. You don't say that to a lady.
She was a brat. I love her, but she was a brat. Listen, okay, then I also got the, forgot what it was. Oh, have you ever had a little boy make a comment on your body and you don't know how to handle the moment because you're like, I can't legally, you know? But what?
I don't know why we do it. We just, you know what? It's before we learn that we have a filter. We just say whatever we think at that point.
Oh no, you don't know true pain until a toddler, a little boy, waddles up to you, smacks you on the chest, and goes small or flat. You, in that moment, it's free game. I'm gonna grab you by your scruff and throw you outside.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, no, as soon as that happens, I'd be like
a
Bane and I would
little
break
boy
Batman's
who
back
doesn't
over my
know,
knee.
like-
Like I would just
Yeah. Or when like a little boy doesn't know right from wrong and he'll just come up to you and just tap you on the butt. And then you turn around, he's just running back to his mom giggling, and then you walk up to the mom and saying, "Hey, your kid just smacked my ass."
Boys will be
And they're like,
boys.
"What? No." And then it starts a whole
This
fight.
little guy, he doesn't even know what that is.
This enforces that I don't want
By
children.
knowledge and by perspective of everyone, he obviously does.
Or then they
Yeah,
bite
so
you.
touching
Oh my
girls, not
god.
okay. I want to train my kids to be like that super suave guy who's like, you know, he'll be like 6 years old, tiny little cute thing. I want him hitting on like 20-year-old like girls, like ladies, and I want him to do it in a very like, you know, like Riz kind of way. You know, I want him to be
Oh,
adorable, right?
Have you seen the video of
I
the
wanna
little
train
boy?
him to do that.
There's a little boy at a restaurant, and the waitress, she was really pretty. Don't get me wrong. He's in a high chair, and he copied a movie that he watched with his dad. And he leans over and he goes, "How you doing?" That's adorable.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there.
If my son isn't a respectful gentleman and opens the door for any woman, he's getting a shoe to the back of his head.
Chivalry will not die, or you will.
Now, what if she gets
Exactly.
mad at him for doing that, though?
Then he's gonna have to fucking deal with it.
You know what? I say family sucks and it's difficult, but sometimes it's worth it in the long run. We had a lot of difficult family stories, and we had some really funny family stories, and ones that I think ended in the best way possible. Also, to be a dad and still be doing DM,
Yeah.
I hope you know you're the coolest dad known to man. You're the cool
100%.
dad. You watch The Princess Bride with your kids,
Hundies.
you're the cool dad. You watch Supernatural, cool dad. I want to be your friend. Let's get you on VR chat.
Yeah. Yo, you looking to adopt?
The four of us would like adoption, please.
Yo, I'll take
Yes,
it.
please.
I'll
I
take
don't
it.
have a dad anymore, so I'll take one.
What are your thoughts on
I'm
Dino
disowning
Nuggies?
my father.
That's definitely a
Aw.
dad who does like the dino nuggies with the mashed potato like lava flow.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my
The little
God.
like volcanoes and stuff.
That's a cool dad. And you know what? We'll see. I want to see more cool dads in chat. Maybe we'll get more cool dads in the next episode. I don't know, but I want to thank everybody for being here because it's always fun to get everybody's opinions. We're going to keep doing this with Theo, obviously, Bread Gang, always. We love having him around.
Good. You know
Right,
what's
yeah,
Shadow
up,
gets
you know
dragged.
what's
He
up.
doesn't get a choice. I promise you, he did not get a choice on getting on tonight. He
I'm
was
just
simply
here.
told.
He was
Listen,
told, and
I
he's
always
doing
have
stuff
a
for me
choice.
tonight. So.
It's just
No, you don't have a choice, and you know you don't have a choice.
That's how we do
And
friendship around these parts. You're not asked, you're demanded.
y'all.
Because we love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next
I
episode.
had to.
There is no
I
war in
had to
Boston,
bribe
say.
you.